Greetings, people of the internet. My name is Big Mo, and it is my honor to welcome you to the hardest hitting, full of ranting, most entertaining show in the world. This is the Dave Van Auken Show!
A historic UFC 311 this past Saturday night, the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. By the way, looked phenomenal on the PPV. I thought that looked amazing. Great show. Shout out to all that was involved. But right now, it's not about all. We want to give the UFC bantamweight champion, Merab Dvalishvili, his flowers. That's what the kids say, right? We want to praise him. We want to give him his due. But the kids say give him his flowers. So that's what we will. Merab Dvalishvili is 19-4. He's 12-2 in the UFC. Started off 0-2. What a crazy run. Think about all these all-time greats. I just saw the pound-for-pound men's list was just released by the UFC. Merab Dvalishvili is very high on that list, and he's the only man that started off 0-2. Usually don't do that in any kind of combat sports and make it onto an all-time list. They're already talking about one of the greatest, if not the greatest, bantamweight fighter of all time. But the main thing about this video I really want to kind of jump on and give Merab his flowers is this run. I love looking back and seeing and watching historic all-time runs. If it's John Jones, I thought, I say this to death, that Khabib Nurmagomedov, that mini run of Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje was an all-time, mini run. But what Merab Dvalishvili is doing, last 5 fights, I'm going to go back all the way to August of 2022 to what we just saw of January 2025. This is an all-time run. Like I said, in multiple different facets, and I think I have facts and proof and opinions of why I think this might be not just a run, the all-time run. All right, kick it off. Like I said, back of 2022 of August, Salt Lake City, UFC 278, he defeats Jose Aldo. At the time, Jose Aldo, people will argue to this day, is the greatest UFC featherweight of all time. This is in the bantamweight division. Jose Aldo's done great things in the bantamweight division, even left out good things outside the UFC, came back and has been great ever since. So to me, this is a phenomenal win. And I always say this, when you get to a championship run, an all-time run, you have to defeat legends on the way or in it, for sure. And Jose Aldo, definition of a mixed martial arts legend. This is a great win, unanimous decision win. In a weird way, out of these 5 fights, Jose Aldo gave him maybe his hardest competition. And I think Merab, you'll see this, gets stronger and stronger and stronger into this run, which is uber impressive. Merab is 34. At the time, he's 34 now. And like I said, this is a couple of years ago. At the time, Jose Aldo was only 35 years old. We don't think 35 in MMA years is washed or out of the prime. I still think Jose Aldo is a great high-level mixed martial artist now, in 2025. So this is 2022. So I give him all the credit on this win. After the Jose Aldo win and starts this all-time run, he defeats Peter Yan. And a weird way, when he beat Peter Yan in that main event, it was in Las Vegas. Kind of funny. It wasn't at the Apex. Remember, it was at like the Hard Rock, I believe. And I remember in that moment, I didn't think Merab was getting the credit for what he did to Peter Yan. Peter Yan, guys, might be the most underrated mixed martial artist of this generation. The man is 18-5. He was a UFC champion. Looks like he's on the way back to trying to become a UFC champion again. Peter Yan's an all-timer. Calculated, technical, his striking skills. Peter Yan, I give it. He is. He's one of the great bantamweights, period. Top 10 list. Especially this era, I'm high on Peter Yan. When they fought, this was in March of 2023, they fought. Peter Yan at that time was 29-30. Like I said, he's coming off being a champion. I know everyone's like, oh, wasn't he on a losing streak? Yeah, a split decision 5-round fight against Aljamain Sterling for the championship. And then he lost a split decision to Sugar Sean O'Malley, member in Abu Dhabi, who a lot of people, 10 combat sports people, 10 UFC people, you ask who won that fight, 9 or 8 will say Peter Yan. So to me, split decision loss to Aljo, split decision loss to Sugar. And then he got UD'd. He got 5-round by Merab Dvalishvili. This is a phenomenal win. Maybe, I know this is crazy, maybe even the best win on this run, 5-round UD against Peter Yan. So that's March of 2023. Now we go to February of 24, and people might go, why the layoff there? Why, that's a 11-month layoff. Remember, Aljamain Sterling was the champion, and he wouldn't fight his friend. And I know people might not like this about that gets a little extra credit. This man could have maybe have already been champion at this time. He supports the people who gets him there. His friendship, his I love that. His loyalty to his guys, doesn't fight for the championship. So what does he have to do? He has to fight Henry Cejudo. Same thing. Maybe it's a me thing. Henry Cejudo is maybe even underrated, one of the great lightweight fighters of our era. He's on the Mount Rushmore. If you guys say flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, give me the Mount Rushmore. Henry Cejudo, Triple C needs to be on it. And at this time, they fought in February 2024 at UFC 298. Cejudo's 36. So again, to me, Cejudo at 36 years old, it's not washed. He actually had a couple years off of his body, which I think was good. He made a comeback. He fought Aljamain Sterling, the sit-in champion, to a 5-round split decision loss. So how close of Cejudo just coming back and becoming the champion he was. One judge had him being the champion. So imagine if Yan never lost to Sterling and Sean, and Merab gave Yan, he would have been fighting for the championship. And the same thing, maybe one judge could have split that to Cejudo. Cejudo could have been the champion right here in this fight. Merab, 3-round UD, kind of, domination once again. He usually is slow in the first round, loses the first round, and then just railroads people second, third, fourth, and fifth. And we'll see that, especially with the Umar coming up here at the end. So again, defeats Cejudo, UFC 298. Aldo, Yan, Cejudo. And so maybe you're saying, guys, hey, Merab's kind of picking on, he's the younger fighter. Maybe he's picking on, kind of all-time greats. And greats need to be on an all-time run, and he has. That gets us into maybe the biggest show of 2024, UFC Noche, the Sphere, against Sugar Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean at this time was 29 years old. He is now 18-2. He only had one loss, the Cheeto Vera loss. He got revenge on that loss. Sugar Sean, one of the best strikers, period, in the UFC. I still think the best striker here in the bantamweight division. And like I said, all the pressure, the Sphere, Noche, Dana was propping it as like this is his love letter to mixed martial arts and to the Mexican heritage. Like this is one of the, if not the biggest shows we will ever see. Merab's in the main event and he wins it via unanimous decision. Same thing. There's times in the fight, but hey, if you watch the fight, you never think he's going to lose. Like he's always in control. He might lose little increments and moments, but he gets back to his pedigree, his pace, his cardio, his wrestling, his grappling. Merab Dvalishvili, UFC 306, one of the biggest wins of the year, defeats Sugar Sean O'Malley. And like I said, guys, at this time, Sean's 29 years old. So you got Sean that was 29, Jan's at 29, Cejudo 36, Aldo 35 at the time they fight. 4 all-timers. It doesn't get better than these all 4. Then the cherry on top to maybe cap this end of this all-time run, and we'll see what's next for him. He just defeated Umar Nurmagomedov. The boogeyman of the division, they say, 29 years old, was 18-0. And I think that's so important that Merab gives an all-timer his first L, gives him that one at the end of the record. Unanimous decision, same thing. The first 2 rounds were very close. One round gave it to Merab, but the other judges had Umar winning 1 and 2, and then landslide, the Merab Dvalishvili train keeps you going. His coach even said, it's like, if you don't stop this man within 7-8 minutes, you are done. You're cooked. In a 5-round fight, he just gets better and better and better. And it's scary because I don't know who's going to be able to beat him in the championship era. To me, it's only going to be father's time because Merab, 34 years old, definitely dealing with injuries, and he trains so hard. I think he wants to get back in there soon. I think he does need this time, rest his body more than anything, right? Like really kind of gather his body and have another 2-3 fight run. But here we go, guys. Aldo, Peter Yan, Henry Cejudo, Sugar Sean O'Malley, and Umar Nurmagomedov. Just the age gaps. And then the other thing I want to jump on this about Merab is that the fighters that he's fighting, it's not like he's fighting all old guys or all young guys. It's not like he's fighting all strikers and Merab's the wrestler and he's just beating them up on it. And it's not like he's beating all just grapplers or wrestlers. Whoever's the number one guy, he's beaten, and he's beaten in different facets. He's fought a striker, grappler, wrestler. He's fought the best striker. He fought an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. He fought the technical guy who can kind of do all, but mostly a striker. And then Jose Aldo. There's nothing this guy can't do, right? Striking, knees, kicks, grappling as well. His wrestling defense might be the best, him and Max Holloway. So, like I said, I think this is an all-time runs. We've seen it with John Jones. We've seen it with Khabib Nurmagomedov. We've seen these many great runs in the UFC. But Merab Dvalishvili, August of 2022 to January of 2025, I would put it against anything. I think this is an all-time run. UFC bantamweight division. Aldo, Yan, Cejudo, Sugar Sean O'Malley, and now Umar Nurmagomedov. There you go. Tell me what you think. You think I'm off my rocker? Let me know. If you agree with me, I would like to hear that too. Merab Dvalishvili on an all-time UFC run. Let's see what's next for him.